Something that people might not know about us is that we actually met on the day that we wrote Replay.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes, hence why I was so stressed.
Why, though?
I've been a fan of yours since, Settle Down days.
And then Francois Titez, who produced my first album and somebody that I used to know, he was curating for the songwriting camp for APRA. So, yeah, we were put in rooms every day. I went along to, I think, just one day of the camp and proceeded to write 2 songs over the course of the time there, and one of them happened to be Replay. You brought in a beat that you'd written the day before, and I remember just hearing it and being like, oh my God, immediately. I was so, drawn in. And to be honest, very surprised, because you're one of the most gentle and sort of, grounded, calm, caring people that I am now very close with, that it was the last thing I was expecting, for you to bust out these super grimy, gnarly, obnoxious rebel beats, Like, it's just, I love the juxtaposition of that. A big influence for me is that Tom York album, The Eraser.
Yeah.
And the Idiotech style beat of like that certain era of Radiohead where everything's real glitched up and sort of like sounds quite lo-fi, compressed, and really, and again, very synthetic. So I think the challenge for us was to be like, if this is going to be a Kimbra track, we didn't really know at the time, we have to put some warmth into it. I love how this song defeats all structural normality. Like the hooks are just a collage.
Yeah.
It's just part 1, part 2, part 3,
Yeah.
but not in that order. 3, 2, 1. It's all over the place. I love songs like that.
So that was really a challenge for me, because I feel like I can get stuck in loops, with ideas, or
being
like
more of a
16 bar
dance producer.
Yeah,
whereas
really
I'm very
refreshing.
arrangement based.
Yeah. That's the best of both worlds, that's where it's so
the
good.
dream collaboration.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Not to brag, but that's pretty fucking awesome.
We're the dream team.
Yeah.
Seriously. Let's talk about the bass line, because that was a really big addition.
Yes. So Taylor Graves wrote this incredible bass line. It's perfect.
And it's almost like that bass line was the sonic character of the, what you doing in my head?
Like
right?
a call and response.
Yeah, it was like that was what the character sounded like in a basin.
Yes.
So Ryan's role was really to kind of find these ominous sort of almost sound effects that would just come in. Like I remember he got a bunch of violin samples, reversed them, and so you'll just hear this attack of like,
yeah. There's so many sick sound effects.
And I think, Ryan's approach to vocal production is really special. He put, the vocals into that very ominous, claustrophobic world, which was maybe the last, it was really just the candy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The candy on the track.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about your early career, because you were kind of more in an R&B pop world under a totally different name, right?
Yeah. I had an old project called Elizabeth Rose, and I wrote a lot of pop R&B.
How did you move into making such weird music, though?
I think, growing up, I listened to a lot of dance music that was very abrasive. Like the Chemical Brothers is one of the biggest influences for me. And then there's The Knife, the Swedish duo. Just crazy production.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So I guess I've always been drawn to that, but I reckon I never had the confidence to explore making that kind of music. I don't know. I think it got to a point in my career where I released an album and it didn't go as well as I'd hoped. And it kind of gave me a chance to kind of sit back and think wow, maybe this is not as authentic as I can be.
Authenticity and confidence are 2 words that I think are really the backbone of Replay, because I was finding my confidence as a vocalist too after recording Primal Heart, releasing it, and then in 2019 opening back up again to, all right, what's the next record? What do I want to say now? And you and I have gone on to make so much music since this. And I think it's like when you find that click of influences where I'm going to sing something that is going to connect with you. Yeah, you're a total nerd like me. You're just such a geek. I love it. Guilty! As the producer and co-writer of the song, what does the song mean to you?
As an artist, working by yourself, it's such a lonely, isolating thing. And you're in your own echo chamber of doubt sometimes. So for me, it's an empowering kind of stance on it of wanting to break free and having to push and really force it.
That's it. Come
Yeah.
face to face with it. If you suppress these things, you push down the thoughts, you leave them for another song that you never write, they just get louder.
What you resist persists, isn't it? That saying?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.